All right, Judy, you go ahead and get yourself a cocktail and meet me back here. Because it is Thursday. Hey, everybody, it is Thursday. That means it is Throwback Thursday. And this week, we're going to continue on with our 30th anniversary. The one thing everybody's talking about this week is the start of Janet Jackson's Metamorphosis Vegas residency. Yes, baby, yes. My girl. And the funny story is, when I was in Vegas, you can see that video on here online, that when I was in Vegas, I was at Mariah Carey, right? So I met this great couple from Georgia. And the one thing I said, you know what? As much as I love, all these shows here in Vegas, be it Mariah, Celine, Def Leppard, whoever, even Sting is going to be there soon. I said, the one person probably never do a residency and I'll never see it. It'll be Janet Jackson. Well, I come home and a week later, Janet gets on TV and says, hey everybody, it's Jan. I got a video, I got an announcement for you. Well, she goes on the next morning. What does she do? She says, I am going to do a residency. I got my ticket, baby. As soon as she said it, when they said those tickets were going on sale, I pulled my wallet out and I got my tickets. Yes, baby, yes, I'm ready. I've been seeing the videos on YouTube, and I'm trying not to watch many of them. But oh my God, a Janet Jackson tour is unlike anything else. All for One was great. It's just so many. The tours have been great, and she puts in. Her State of the World tour. I missed it when it came around to Texas, but I'm not missing this one. I got my bags, I got my hotel, and I got my plane fare ready. So, since we are talking about Janet, let's talk about her opus, one of her greatest achievements, Rhythm Nation. By the time she did this album, this was her fourth album. She had already done her self-titled album, which featured Say You Do, Young Love, and one of my personal favorites, Come Give Your Love to Me. She did Dream Street. They had my favorite song on it, the title of the album, Dream Street. Then she did the breakout album of her career, which was basically Control, and she put everybody on notice and let them know she is not Michael's little sister, she is not Penny, she's not Cleo, she's not, Charlene, she is Janet, Miss Jackson if you're nasty. 1989 rolled around. Believe it or not, it took about a little bit over a year to do this album, okay? And it made me wonder, what took you so long, Janet? Between Control, because you didn't go on tour for Control, and they said it only took about a year or so to do this album, but it probably was a little bit longer. Anyway, so I do believe that, she sat down with the people at the A&R department, and said, hey guys, this is what I want to do for my next album. And they were like, no, Janet, we can't we don't want you to do that. We advise on that. This is going to kill your career. You can't do this album with all these statements and no. Let's be safe. Let's do Control 2. If she would have did a Control 2, and that's what they wanted to name it, Control 2. Believe that shit? Now, if she would have did another Control type of album, it would have did well, but it wouldn't push her to the next platform as she went to, because Rhythm Nation solidified her as a superstar, not just another pop singer. Okay, it made her a superstar. Okay, a global superstar. She became the icon that we know because of this album. Okay, Rhythm Nation in general. Let me give you the stats on it. It was released September 19. It was released September 19, 1989. There were it sold 12 million worldwide, so it went 12 times platinum. It sold 12 million worldwide. 6 million of those albums were in the United States domestically, okay? Pretty much, she received over 6 Grammy nominations and tons of other nominations and awards for this album alone. By the time this album came out, you know, she became the queen of MTV. Why? Because she released 8 singles, and I do believe there is a video for every one of them, okay? And so she went on tour, and she wound up performing to over 2 million people worldwide. Now, the Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation tour started off in Japan, and like I said, 30 years ago, Janet was riding high. You know, and she took a gamble, and that gamble paid off, okay? But I still think there was some shadiness at A&M Records going on, because when the first single was released and they had the press conference, they made sure to let people know this album is full of themes and discussions, and you know, and they wasn't saying that like, we're proud that Janet is trying to talk about the crack epidemic and children being shot and wanting social justice and peace. No, they was like, we're proud to present, you know, our first single, but let's let you know about this album. It has a lot of messages to it, you know. I'm like, okay, that's shady shit. But hey, it paid off for Janet, okay? But let me tell you, I don't know if it was Janet's doing, Jimmy and Terry's doing, was it a collective effort at Flight Time Productions? Because, you know, that's who she worked with, is Flight Time. So, and everybody who either recorded at Flight Time was involved in this album. There were background vocals by Johnny Gill, Lisa Keith, you know, members of Sounds of Blackness. So there was a little bit everybody on this album that helped out. And it shows, because this is a big production of an album. If you listen to this album compared to, you know, maybe All For You and Unbreakable and 20YO and, you know, even Control. So this was a big record. But when they got ready to put the first single out, I know Janet may have wanted to do one thing, Jimmy and Terry may want to do a thing, but I'm sure A&M wanted to do something different. And what we got was, you know, Miss You Much. Hey. Baby, I had the 45 for this. I had the cassette single, because they were just introducing cassette singles then. Everywhere you went in Houston, this song was playing. In my car, at the mall, in my Walkman. The video was fun. You know, she was dancing her ass off in it. You just had, I mean, the groove. Hey. See, that I mean, everywhere you went, people knew the lyrics, the chorus, you know. What really got people hyped is her performances of it. And then also, you know, you got a big single when they're playing the extended dance version on Top 40 Radio, because everybody loved that. Is that the end? And all of a sudden, no. Then they jumped into the dance break. Baby, Janet had the world on edge. I mean, because they were dancing. She had us dancing, okay? But then she was ready to put out there what this album was about. And when the album was released, the first single was the title track of the album. What I love about Rhythm Nation is, I love the fact that it's like a march. It's like a military I don't know how to put it. It's something very militant about it. It's just the way, even in the video, you can see it was very militant, very on point, you know. And it just made you take notice. It still made you do that. What have you done for me, Snake? You know what I'm saying? If you haven't seen the video, I suggest you look it up. But there was a part in this mini movie she did, and she did this before. Her brother did it. She did it before Beyonce did it. She put out all that. Like that's what it was. It was like a mini movie, but pretty much all the songs were in it, and there was a very crucial part in this video. And Rhythm Nation was like that high point, that climax. That's what I'm trying to say. It was like that climax of the song, of this video, this little mini movie, and her dancers were on point. At that time, nobody's ever seen anything like that in a dance video. You know, it was just like they must have put in sweat, and they had hurt themselves getting this down to the point, because there was not a misstep. And then when Janet threw her hand up there, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I mean, it was that was the call. That was the call. Say, it's on, bitches. Okay. So in Rhythm Nation, you know, like I said, Rhythm Nation's out there. You know, it was a heavy song. And then what they did was they decided to lighten the mood, and they put out Escapade as the next single. Escapade was really pretty. Oh my gosh, she was so damn pretty in the video. She had this like black mini jacket on, you know, that was cut like it was cut at her waist but long in the back, and she had black leggings on and boots, and she had her hair full. I could still see her in it because she was just, and you know, her signature little get it girl dance. I mean, it was very festive, it was like a carnival. And what's funny is, I think I mentioned this in one of the last videos, there was a form of style with music at that time, you know, like Prince's Starfish and Coffee, Dear Jessie by Madonna, and then Escapade. It was this kind of carnival, happy, very light spirited kind of sound. Do, 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 do. You know, you can hear it. So go back and listen to like Dear Jessie, and you'll see what I'm saying. And so by this point, Janet was definitely getting ready, or on the road of getting ready to start the Rhythm Nation tour. Like I said, it started in Japan. MTV made a big old thing about it. Everybody was going crazy because she was on tour, and you know, this was her first tour, because she did not tour. She did not tour for Control, and they were ready. The kids were ready. We were ready. You know, it was Janet's world, and we were all just living in it, but and wanted to be a part of it. So by the time I know, when it got to Houston, the weekend it got to Houston, I think the same weekend, if not a couple of days before she got to Houston, they world premiered the video for All Right. And I remember, I think they had just premiered it, or they were premiering it that same weekend, and the Houston audience got to see it first. I mean, All Right was just a party song. I mean, the girls, there was drag queens everywhere dancing to this, okay? And we wanted to hear it at the club, after the shows, before the shows. Jukeboxes were playing it. It was just that kind of jam. I'm telling you, back then, if I went to a club or a bar and there was a drag queen doing a song, she better be kicking it. I mean, she better have some boots on. She better be dancing. She gonna make my coins. Even now, if you gonna do a Janet Jackson song, you gonna make it hype. Let it be all right, and it's gonna be on. I know now that there was a 12-inch single that came out, and the cassette single had Heavy D on it, and oh yeah, they were working it out. They were working it out on I mean, Heavy D, you know, God rest his soul. But he definitely was working it out, and it was a great video, and very, very lively. They did a throwback video to the 1920s or 30s maybe, when they had Cab Calloway in it. They were doing some Mills Brothers dance steps. She and the dancers were dressed in these bright yellow zoo suits. So it was a very fun video. After All Right, the next couple of singles were Come Back to Me, and I really can't remember if there was a video for Come Back to Me. But after Come Back to Me, then they decided to bring it on back and pick the pace up and give us a little rock and roll. So she did Black Cat. Hold on, let's get that guitar in there. Let's get that guitar. I still know. So Black Cat came out, and I don't know who was doing the guitar in it. I did know, and I forgot, but believe it, I mean, people are like, oh, Janet is rocking out. Baby, all the Jacksons rocked out. It wasn't nothing new. You know, it started back with I Am Love. You know, the Jackson 5 did I Am Love. You know, Michael did it with Beat It, and you know, with Eddie Van Halen, and you know, it just went on. You know, they're very well-rounded when it comes to music, and they like rock music. But oh yeah, Black Cat, and they actually, believe it or not, Black Cat is about somebody doing drugs. You know, that's what it's about. The message in it. You know, if you're gonna do drugs, you know, it's got a deep message. Now in the mini movie, it wasn't a part of the mini movie in a way. It wasn't a video, because the video they created was actually scenes from her Rhythm Nation tour. But you can't hear Black Cat being played in the background of a club scene. So after Black Cat, you know, then they followed it right up with Love Will Never Do Without You. So I know I talked about this before. Now, Love Will Never Do Without You, the video was done by a famed photographer. He directed it, Herb Ritz. And I told you about Herb Ritz before. You know, he was a brilliant photographer. He would bring black and white photos to life as if they were full color, you know. He worked with everybody, but he directed this video. And I do believe he also directed Madonna's Cherish, because they're very similar. You know, they were done on the beach, you know, Gorgeous Men, Water. Janet was in, you know, jeans and a little top and her hair pulled up. Just playing around, having fun, just smiling with that famous Janet Jackson smile. It's just a fun song, and the video shows that it was fun. So, you know, and that was really one of the last big production videos. I mean, I do believe they did a video because the last single from the album is supposed to be State of the World, and I'm not sure they did a video for State of the World, but they're you know, I never actually looked it up, and I don't remember seeing one. So it could have just been a single that they dropped, but it was it was the last single of the album. And you know, but one of my favorite songs from this album is The Knowledge, and the B-side for Miss You Much, You Need Me. I love that song. I do think there was another B-side, and I have to, somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, One More Chance, which was actually done by the Jacksons on the Triumph album, or no, Victory. I think it was on Victory, and I think she put that out as a B-side single for this album also, off of this album. But definitely, You Need Me is such a great song. And it's really one of those Janet Jackson, you have to be a fan. You have to be a fan to know that song, okay? But once again, like I said, Rhythm Nation is turning 30 years old in September. If you haven't pulled out your copy, if you don't have a copy, run out and get it, stream it. You know, if anybody with JDJ Productions, you know, is listening, Janet, if you see this, somebody, you know, I'll see you in July on the 24th. I'm still trying to get a pass for the meet and greet. I would love it. You know, you can find me, you can email me, maybe send me a message. I love to go to the meet and greet. Anyway, also, what I was about to say, it's 30 years old. It's one of the greatest albums that came out in 1989. There was so many great ones, you know, at that time. But this is definitely one of the shining moments of that year, a shining moment in her career. She sold, like I said, 12 million copies of it. She definitely solidified her place in music history. She let us know. And once again, JDJ Productions or somebody, if y'all get the masters, you know, whatever y'all need to find, put out the Rhythm Nation mini movie, okay? I also believe there was a VHS tape of all the videos from the album. You know, if y'all want to do that too, we'll buy it. Trust me, we will buy it. But definitely, if you put out the Rhythm Nation 1814 mini movie, we will buy it. And if you don't, we're still gonna come to Janet Jackson's Metamorphosis tour and see her in Vegas or wherever she's gonna go, because we love Janet. So until next time I see you, put that in your tea mug, Judy. Sip on it, and you tell your mama I said, hey, love you.